Hey guys, how's it going?
Yo.
Today's topic is salt.
Hey.
Hey, we're backstage, so say hi to Ryan and D.
Hey Jay, how's it going?
Hey. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Come on, dude.
Cyndi jumping on? Or?
Even D's got the TV blaring on one side of this. Is that the TV?
Got the TV going. You know, I got the beer in the back too.
He's got the beer in the back too.
It's echoing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Beaver.
I'm the one that gets booted. What the heck?
Well, you run away from home? What's going on there?
There we go.
At dinner.
You're at dinner.
No, we messed up.
I'll have the lobster.
You have the lobster? Come on. He says he wants lobster.
We messed up. We made plans, and well, I screwed up the time. It was just bad.
Too expensive for the lobster. For Ryan. But these are good.
All right, in that case, hamburger.
Hamburger.
Cheap date.
I think I'm gonna change positions here because
True. We can cook it however we want here. We can do medium rare. We can do rare. Or no bun.
No, a la carte all the way.
That's hilarious. All right. So,
Get everything all set up here.
yeah. Someone got kicked out. It's all good.
I'm just trying to get all the time.
Echoing.
Might be a delay. You have both doing things in it?
I did have both. Yep.
I was like, we can't have an echo off of us because we're next to each other.
Who's echoing? Me?
Am I echoing?
No, you're good.
Demute your mic for a second.
God.
I understand what the
Okay, D, just say something just to make sure that it's not picking your mic up.
That works.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
See, we can still hear you. That's what I'm saying. Mute your mic and then say something.
Hello?
Yeah, it's picking feed up back from Mike or from D.
No. Facebook comments are coming in for some reason.
They aren't or they are?
They're
How
not.
about now? Echo?
Let's see. We'll find out. Nope, looks like it's gone now.
It works better when I can hear you. Am I still echoing?
No, it's not as bad now. Yeah, it was weird. It was just picking it up double on your end for some reason.
I got a lot of devices in here. I got to make sure everything is not running at the same time.
Which YouTube channel is this streaming to? Because it's not showing on mine. You have it on yours, Ryan?
No, we're good now.
It's good now?
Yep.
That's better. Yeah, I just don't, the Facebook comments aren't loading up for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, I see the comments here.
It's okay, as long as you guys have it pulled up, we can, or you guys can answer it.
Yeah,
I can see them.
I can only see YouTube.
Oh, what the screen are you in, Ryan? Because you might be in private chat. You might have to switch over to comments. I don't know what you're looking at there.
Oh, really? I just see YouTube comments coming in.
Okay, because I see them now with the names.
Okay, do you see Facebook comments?
I don't see the Facebook comments, but the Facebook comments.
Oh, I think I am in private. Okay, I see your, yeah. I see your comment, D.
I'm going to open the Facebook in another window just in case.
Hmm.
Okay, I see the comments.
Oh, there we go. There's a Facebook one coming in now. Adam. Hey, Adam, I can see your
Yeah, I
shit.
see
So
it.
we've
I
got
see it.
Kendall's Reef, Farm Boy
Just-
Reef.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's working now.
And you guys are echoing because you're watching yourself. Quit watching yourself.
Yeah, turn if you're watching yourself, mute the other page, because you'll be getting reverb from two streams at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, Ryan, that's why you need to use your AirPods.
Mm-hmm. I could put him in. Kevin.
Let me see.
So you want me to mute who now?
Okay, I can see the comments gone on both pages.
Yeah, so it's working.
This is difficult because I have to tap the chat button to be able to see the chat on my screen.
On StreamYard, you should be able to leave the chat button on comment if you leave it on the comment, not on the private chat.
So yeah, but I put it on comment and it takes up the whole screen.
Oh, it's on your phone. That's
Yep.
let me see.
I can't
There's
hear
a
you guys, huh?
feature for that. I'm trying to
Technical
think. There's
difficulties
another-
again.
Uh-oh. She's gone black. She's gone dark.
Can you guys
That's
hear me?
the
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going tonight, man? Kevin, I bought my storm clowns off him. We got a guy from Scotland tuning in right now, Gary.
Yay. Dilly.
Thanks for
Dilly
joining,
dilly.
Gary. She's muted. She's got her mute symbol on.
And she's, yeah,
It's just
her whole screen is, that was a very awkward.
What's she giving us, the bird?
No, it's like had kind of this like gun thing going on.
Okay.
I think she's just getting too many notifications or something. I don't know.
Either that or something else on the phone running. It's probably another app running. Either Facebook is running or another streaming app is running.
Yeah, it's probably going too much.
This is terrible. We definitely need to get this ironed out better before next week.
Well, probably going on phones isn't the best, probably.
Yeah. But we had to try it this way anyways, because I mean, Aquashella. I'm just saying. Sin, you're muted still. She keeps getting very awkward pauses there on her screen.
Hey, Mark, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining us. Mark, ready to rock and roll. He's got a lot of questions.
Oh gosh.
He's been working on it for a week.
Oh, yeah. He's working hard.
Right?
Oh, yeah. He's coming at you, Beavs.
It's okay. So Sin says she can't hear anybody. She might have to leave and rejoin.
Yeah, try to do that, Sin.
Well, she said she can't hear us, so us telling her to do that isn't going to do any good.
Type her send her a private.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Steve. Are your earpods dead?
No, they're fully charged.
Okay.
Like, she had them in the case and everything and just pulled them out.
Hey, man.
Let me see.
Do you want me to message her to leave and come back, or do you want me to just kick her out? And she can rejoin?
Send her another message, because I don't know if she's seeing it or not.
No, she left there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this phone.
What salt are you using, D, on your tank?
What's the what?
What salt are you running on your tank?
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, man.
What is
What?
going on?
What?
I can hear Ryan. What salt are you using on your tank?
Oh, salt, the Coral Pro on one tank and Instant Ocean on the other.
Nice. I think everybody starts out with Instant Ocean. I did.
I started with Fritz because that's what my local fish store carried.
Oh, really?
Dude,
Well,
when I
that
first,
well. Mhm.
well, I was just saying, when I first got in, I had to go with what the store had. I didn't have any way to test salinity. I didn't know anything about salts, and I figured, hey, they're selling it. I may as well just go with it. You know, if it's working for them, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Isn't that just the way? That's the hard thing about what you can get versus what you want.
Well, yeah, and I think even at that, a lot of the first-time people just getting into it, they kind of are a little intimidated about making their own salts. I mean, you don't know what water you need to be using. Can you use regular water or like tap water? Do you need to be chlorinated? Do you actually need to use an RODI? Like, there's just so many things around the water itself, let alone the salt, that it's a very intimidating process. I mean, when I first got in, I legitimately went, bought a tank, bought some live sand and some live rock that had been curing at the local fish store there, and threw it in along with a clown and goby and a pistol shrimp. It was like, cool, I'm going. And like, just being dumb. Like, let's do this. Now, in hindsight, that was definitely not the best way. But I mean,
you got to start.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was definitely a learning experience. But you get into some of the harder ones. God, what salt is it? I want to say it's like the ESV salt that actually is like two components that you have to mix together and everything.
Oh, really?
Because it's like the B Ionic. But it's like the B Ionic. I crashed my tank several times before I got the balls to make the big one fully what I wanted it. And then I still screw up. You still screw up things trying to change from product to product.
Yeah.
Because it's more than the levels that you're looking at. These guys use different coagulants and different elements in the salt, and you really don't see those on the labels. Nobody really puts that level of detail on the labels.
Well, exactly. It's their own recipe, right? They don't show everything that's on it.
Yeah, I don't know. See, and again, that's going back to where I was at when I first got in. Like, it's hard to know, which is unfortunate because you really should know.
Nah. I mean, even going from the Reef Crystals to the Reef C Pro, I lost a hell of a lot of coral.
Really?
Yeah, and
you just gradually, set your tank up,
No, I mean, on this smaller tank, in front of me is like 30 gallons. It was all Pavona and Acro, and I had never did those in a big tank. I was so proud of this little tank because I never kept those in such a simple system. But not thinking about the salt being so different, I took like a 10-gallon water change, I want to say. Yeah. Next Acros went white. They went white and were like, I would say 3 days. I was like, oh, wait, what the hell? In like 3 days.
Yeah, well, your tank gets so used to the salt that you're on, right? It's almost like trying to wean it off. Like it's almost like it's on drugs, right? You gotta slowly wean it off. That's what I see with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, I want to know what salt that was that you set up with your levels being off like that.
Yeah. So long story short, guys, at 120. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You mix in salts, you're chasing those numbers that you want to see, right? Some of the salts run high elk, some run, in the between. I think which ones were you testing again? Let's see, I know he had he was doing a whole bunch of chemistry this week.
Probably the magnesium. I know the Red Sea Pro, the magnesium is very high in that versus any other thing that I've used, like especially Instant Ocean. Yeah. But then again, a lot of people I know, like even Ayulo told me he used Instant Ocean at home forever. That's it. Like, and he has access to all these different things.
Oh, exactly. Like on the Hulk right now, I run D&D H2 Ocean Salt. And, it's been pretty good. Can't complain. It's about a 9.5 ppH, out of the pail. So it's been a good salt. I've been using it about 5 years now. Oh. Coming back.
Is she coming back in?
There she is. We got her back.
Hooray!
Hey!
There we go.
I can
Okay,
hear you
so
now.
Mark had a problem, I guess, with Aqua Forest. He was saying.
Oh, Aqua Forest.
Yeah.
See, one thing I've noticed about that is I love the aquaforest salt, like the reef salt. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the probiotic though, I could never get it to mix clean. I ordered a 300-gallon box of it, never mixed clean for
You
me.
get it, it clouds the whole thing up.
There you
Whole
go.
system.
Maybe it's very low, alpha's through the roof.
But then again, some people swear by it. Like the Aqua Forest, the whole line of products, they swear
Yeah.
by it.
That's what I'll
Oh, I mean,
don't know
everything
about-
I've used Aquaforest has been great. But what I worry about with their salt, though, is settling and shipping because of where it comes from and everything.
Well, exactly. It's like any bucket you get, you should take it up and just mix it all up. Because that recipe, everything it settles to the bottom. Anything that's heavier than the goes to the bottom to get mixed. It's definitely gonna help with the result.
Hey, Cindy better not be cutting a steak over there.
Not yet.
She's
That's the bread.
it's the
I don't want any. Sorry.
It's got like a meat cleaver over there.
No, it's the bread.
I'm reassured.
I
You
mean,
went
we're
in
about to
like
order.
I mean, you went in like it was served.
Yeah. Whose idea was that? Oh yeah, it was mine. Yeah. Everybody said, what a way to pick a live stream on a Saturday night. Like, oh, that's my idea.
Yeah, I mean, who does that? Who does that?
Crazy fish people.
No.
Hey, now, let me ask a question. When you think about adding salts and which salts you use, have any of you ever used a pre-mixed NutriSeed or water, pre-mixed salt water?
No,
I
I've looked into that.
in the hobby.
No, never.
I
See,
mean,
when well,
that's
I was
supposed to be completely like leveled up and.
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff about it, and I thought about doing it at first, and then I realized that it was like $7 a gallon or something ridiculous. And I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm cheap.
That engagement party at.
Like the D&D ocean salt I use is solar evaporated, so they put it in big pools, evaporate it down out of the ocean, and then they add their own recipe to it. So it's pretty close, you know.
Where do you get it from? Where do you get it? I never see that here.
Marine Depot sells it. That's the only one sold in that area. You have to have it in stock. Here in Canada, there's a few stores around that sell it. I get mine out of Montreal.
That's my other fear is like getting your tank used to something. Like I first went from caulk washer to the 2-part bionic to keep the elements, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get it. And I was jumping through a hurdle, and I was like, "Oh crap!" That's how I ended up switching salts, because all of a sudden nobody had the Red Sea. I was like driving around town, I was trying to order it.
Yep.
Well, that's like the Aquaforest salts. I mean, it's really becoming a pain in the butt to find it now too, though.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess BRS doesn't even carry it anymore.
No, Aquaforest is really hard to get. Tropic Marin is kind of hard to get too, though.
Well, Aquaforest is only overseas.
So it's Tropic. Yeah, they're coming from overseas too. Yeah. Tropic Marin and Aquaforest is coming from overseas. The Elo salt is coming from overseas too.
Why don't they just get an American salt like this?
An American-made salt like Fritz.
American-made salt.
Come on,
You want algae? Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah. There's a little bird on my shoulder that says we should just get an American-made salt like Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz is starting at my local fish store there, Big Owls. I got Fritz for sale now. It finally came in. It's getting around now.
Well, not
I was
for
just
nothing.
told that you're wrong.
We
It is
should do
carried
that.
there.
Yeah.
What's that?
Is it? Yeah.
What did she say?
Yeah. You said that it is carried there. Or she said.
Yes, it is.
He's
Well,
got a truck pulling in right now.
That it is carried there.
He's got a truck pulling in.
Probably be making the switch eventually here. We'll see.
Hey, I've been using Red Sea for 8 years. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I like
See,
Red
I
Sea.
feel
Well,
like I've been a salt
it's hard to
junkie.
get a hold of. It's fine.
Yeah,
See,
you know,
I feel like I've been kind of a salt hoe, I guess, is kind of the way to put it. I mean, I've tried everything. I've used Red Sea, I've used Fritz, I've used Aquaforest. Right now, I've got the Brightwell Neo Marine. Let me tell you, that Brightwell is super impressive out of all the stuff I've used.
Oh yeah, it is. It's all fast.
Oh my god, it's so fast. No kidding, I can dump enough salt in to make a 45-gallon bin. It's mixed clear in like 25 minutes tops.
Oh wow, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, it's great. But you know, we watched Cyndi do all those Ellos videos though, and that's what was really impressive too.
Yeah,
It was quick dissolving. The problem that I have with that is I can't find it locally because it is imported, just like Tropic Marin. It's
And it's
very, very
expensive.
similar to
Like,
it.
who's selling it
It
now?
is, you know,
So-
It's
it's not that
expensive.
it's expensive. Realistically, if you think about it, I don't have to dose. Kind of like the
Well,
Red Sea Coral
yeah.
Pro. Red Sea Coral Pro and the Elo Salt, I don't have to dose anything. As long as I maintain my regular scheduled water changes,
And
you
that's
pay
why I
more
like
because
it.
you're not paying for the extra additives to
Yeah.
supplement for it, right? So
Yeah.
realistically, you're not paying more. If anything, I'm saving money by having those already on there. I'm not saying I don't dose or add anything to my corals to
Yeah.
help them, boost them up, but I'm just saying I don't have to.
You get what you pay for.
I do
Yeah.
get what I pay for.
Like
I
everything
do.
else, obviously.
And I'm consistent on my water changes. I'll do a 10 to 15% water change every 10 days or so, depending on the tank. The smaller the tank, the more frequent.
Yeah, the bigger tank, the more of a pain it is. I wish I had the system. We were talking about what you would do in your wish system.
Yeah,
I would never have put that tank on the main floor.
yeah, that's what you're saying.
But
Yep.
because the water changes, you're doing 40-gallon water changes, 50-gallon water changes. It's a
Yeah.
project. Just mixing, having the salt reservoirs to pump the water up there. I'm trying
Like,
to develop that now. A system. I'm getting too old for that.
oh yeah,
Basically.
like my 600 here. I do 10 gallons a day right now. I have it hooked up through the Apex to the doser, and so yeah, it does 10 gallons a day or more. Depends on what I want. When you know what I mean, it makes things much easier. I'm sick of I'm sick of carrying buckets around.
But now, do you have any problem with the salt sitting in that reservoir? Like you have the pre-mixed salt water. You have any sediment issues or any film?
No, it's been good so far, to be honest with you. I always check, but I have like 50-gallon drums in the basement. Everything's down in the basement, far into the house, and it's all pumped back here. But no, I haven't noticed anything. It's been good. Usually, some salts, yes, we know the horror stories. But yeah, it's been consistent. I keep a pump in there, keep everything moving around quite often, because the more irrigation you put on that water is going to keep your pH and everything in check as well. So it definitely helps.
I think the only one that I've had sediment issues with is probably the instant ocean. If I let it sit for too long and I don't
Yeah.
use something to sit there and stream, or the reef crystals both. But I mean, it is a cheaper salt. You do get what you get for If it's something that I don't use within 8 to 12 hours of mixing, when it comes to those two particular salts, then I pretty much trash it because you will have that brown film and bubble at the very top.
Yeah, I
Both
had
the
to keep
Red
it moving.
Sea and the Ellos don't do that for me. I had the Ellos that I did on the demonstration live on Instagram on my table, at least 5 gallons of it for 2 weeks, and it still never browned out. I didn't have any heat in it. It didn't have anything circulating the water. It was just a 20 long with it sitting there, nothing, no bubbles, no brown, nothing. So I was pretty impressed, but
That's good.
it's not readily available.
Well,
Yeah,
So,
exactly. If we
so
take it,
don't.
Andrew.
Oh, I was gonna get to that here in a second, but I was gonna say, Sin, don't tell Wendy this, but the only salt I ever had that did anything with that was Fritz, and that was when I let it sit for weeks on end with no aeration, no nothing, no.
well, yeah. If it's not moving, just by the pure nature of it.
Yeah.
Because I was reading something actually earlier about the bonding agents that they use in regular house salt versus how they maintain the consistency with the salt water mixed salt, and they all use different materials. So of course they break down over time.
Oh, definitely.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like, I wasn't saying that Fritz is bad or anything. I'm just saying that's the only salt that I had to do. But I know that a big part of that was just me with my storage when I was first learning how to even store it. So that's totally on me. Going back to Andrew's question, though, the only salt that I ever really had any issue with was, the Aquaforest probiotic. Just never mixed clear for me.
Mine was I jumped from when I first started in the hobby, it was Instant Ocean, and then I went to Salinity. That one gave me, I had a lot of residue with that one.
Yeah,
I dropped
had
it.
the nightmare. That nightmare I had. That I had Coral Life because once again somebody gave me. Oh yeah, I'm closing. I'm moving. Here's a bucket of salt. I was like, wow, that's 80 gallons worth of salt, and it was horrible. It was powdery for like probably 3 to 4 days.
Yep, the old free salt trick.
Yeah.
Well, anytime I mix salt, I don't think I ever leave it out for more than 48 hours because then what's the point of mixing it if I'm not going to use it?
No, I mean the tank was cloudy for like 3.
Oh, yeah,
It was
yeah, that's
mixed.
true.
It was
Yeah,
mixed,
got it.
but it
Yeah.
just never got
But it
clear.
was Coral
Like
Life brand salt?
Coral Life, yeah, forget
I didn't
about
even
it.
know they had their own salt.
They're way out of the business. Believe me, there's a good reason.
Yeah,
There's a good,
I think my buddy Mark, he tested that one too this week. He said it was horrible.
oh, it's horrible.
Mark was busy.
Oh, he was. I know his comment here. He did test that.
He was getting questions ready, baby. Mark is not playing.
I think this is it right here. See? Coral
Yeah,
Lake.
Coral Life. Oh,
Yeah.
that was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it dropped all the levels.
Yep.
And once again, like your tank will tell you immediately when something's wrong. Immediately.
With your,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But then we've come a long way as far as like the hobby. So the salt companies, Fritz and Tropic Man, all of these companies have evolved.
oh, for sure.
When I started, there was only Instant Ocean. There wasn't anything, so there was only Instant Ocean. So people are like, oh, they're the oldest, they're the best, you know. So you kind of gave them that loyalty button.
Yeah. See, I'm not gonna lie. I'm half tempted actually to give Fritz another go and try it in my kid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really thinking. I mean, I had nothing but success with it. I know a lot of people had a lot of issues during a specific period of time, but I mean, Fritz was an awesome company. They did a whole bunch of stuff. They made it right,
sure.
and like I said, I never had a problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was even buying salt during that period there where that happened.
Yeah, but they reached out to every customer that they knew had that bad batch, and they replaced it, and then some. You know, they went above and beyond. They admitted to there being a problem on it. They got ahead of the problem, and they corrected it as much as they could. Yes, some damage was already done, but they got ahead of it.
Yep.
You know, the people that did have problems with them, a couple of them had home visits, and they saw what was going on with it to see the effects of it. As far as one of the other questions that's on here right now, is there a problem with it if you have the mixing station waymakers constantly circulating in the water? No, you don't have those issues as much. If you have heat and if you have the water circulating, realistically, with any salt that you use, you shouldn't have that sediment issue, or you shouldn't have that browning, you shouldn't have that bug. However, I've never let it sit more than 48 hours, so I really couldn't tell you. I don't go out to the LFS and buy pre-made salt mixed water to do a water change and not use it within 48 hours, so I really couldn't answer that one.
Well, mine sits downstairs because I'm doing automatic water changes. There's a pump in it. It's going 24/7. So if it's mixing for a month,
Wow.
then fine for me.
So now, does yours ever build like a film just like up at the top around the top of the salt?
There's a little bit, yeah. There's always a
See,
little
and
bit. It
that's
could
all-
be evaporation, you know, around the top.
See, and that's all I've noticed too with the Brightwell is I just get that little tiny ring around the outside a little bit there if I let it sit for like a week and a half.
Yeah,
If it's only sit for a couple of days, nothing.
no,
You know, and that's without aeration really, so or any real movement, which is absolutely crazy. Blows my mind. If I left other salts that I shall not name, it tends to have a little bit more there. But yeah, it's nice, and I think that a lot of salts get a lot of bad rap just because people don't do things that they should be doing with it.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
the best
And it's
advice
so
that I
easy,
can
right?
give
It's
anybody,
so easy.
right? The best advice I can give anybody when you're gonna do a big water change, test the dang water that you're gonna put in before you even put it in. Make sure
That's
that
the
it
best,
matches
too.
your parameters. And yeah, a lot of us as hobbyists get kind of lazy and we don't do it. I know I'm at fault of it, big
Yeah.
time.
I'm guilty.
Oh, you all
I
get
check
it.
my
We all get into that.
butter.
Yeah, but like
And
I said,
then-
if you're gonna do a big one, do it. If you've got 100-gallon system and you're only gonna do like 5 gallons, okay, it can be off a little bit. It's not gonna make a big difference. But if
Yeah,
you've got to do a big water change, like an emergency one, and you're doing 50% of the volume, you better check that.
well, exactly. And the thing is, too, with social media, you're always going to hear the worst and you're hearing the good stuff that happens all the time, too. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So always do your test. You know what I mean? Get your own results.
Yeah,
Well-
well, I never heard any good compliments coming back from the people that got the bad batches saying, hey, they reached out to me, they replaced the
Yeah.
bad batch. I mean, but you
But
heard all
that's
the
because
bad.
service,
Why didn't
right?
we
They
hear
look
anything
after
about the good stuff?
Yeah, well, they look after their customers, and that's the way it should be.
Right, they did.
Mhm.
They actually hired somebody to reach out to those customers to get those back before most of them even put them in their tank.
But yeah,
But you don't hear any of that. You only hear the negative, which is not a good thing. In this hobby,
No.
in this
Well,
hobby, we
forward.
tend to complain more than we do I don't know what's the complement other companies or other products or whatever. You know, if people screw up, you know, as long as you own it, whether it's a company or an individual, I mean, that needs to be appreciated. You know, transparency is what it comes out to be. You know, you want that transparency from a company or individual.
That's the important thing, because at the end of the day, you want repeat business. I mean, if you buy salt, you're going to buy pumps, you're going to buy lights, you're going to buy everything. You want to know that you have support.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the time people blame the salt, and it's not even the salt's fault. I mean, what my mentor, he says, D, do you even test the salt? Do you ask the store where you buy the coral what salt they use before you bring it in your house? And I was like, that's a good point. You really don't. So if you bring
A lot of people
a
don't think
piece
about it.
home, you bring a piece home and it's used to a 9 DKH, and now you're using something at 5 DKH, and you see it white at the tips, you really don't know.
Yeah, it's very true.
Well, and a big swing too will cause a big problem.
Oh yeah.
And how would you know? I mean, how would you know?
Well, that's why you got to test.
Hey,
And
you
you
know,
gotta ask.
you can just do what my sisters do. Just go get some table salt. You mix it up and you're good.
Oh
Who cares?
God.
According to her, you know, that's all you need to do this. She just sent me a text message. Or we were joking about this earlier. I was like, hey, today's topic is salt. I was like, just say you use salt, you know, table salt for your seahorses. Yeah. But no, in all seriousness,
look, how long did she cook them for?
Right. In all seriousness, I mean, you're right. You don't. Most people don't ask the store, hey, what kind of salt is this? You know, I know because I ask. Because if anytime I need to do an emergency water change and I don't have access to mixing my own salt, I want to know, hey, what kind of salt do you use? Do you use Fritz? Great. Well, I need 10 gallons of this. I need to do an emergency water change, or I need to go to a client's or whatever's house that needs the water change, and I don't have any pre-made enough to go do whatever they need. But I always ask. It's good habit. I don't necessarily test it before I use it, because most of the cases when I'm doing that, it's just I'm in a rush for whatever reason. But if I'm like using the Red Sea that I already have, or the Ella salt that I already have that I'm, you know, trying out still, I already tested it. I already know what the parameters are. I know what's currently in my tank before I do the salt water. And I don't do such a large change that if the alkalinity is 9.8 on one and on the other one it's 12, I'm not going to do a large water change and shock everything in there and kill it.
Yeah.
Say if more people would do stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
But
you don't know.
She just said the keywords.
You really never
though.
know.
Right? She said the keywords though. When I'm in a rush, don't ever be in a rush with this hobby. Like take your time.
Exactly. Human error.
Shit happens though.
It happens. You have people who can't sleep. You have people that are going through divorce and need to move their tanks. You have people that lose their electricity.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You have people that lose their electricity. You have people that, I mean, a tank crash in general, and they need to move everything into another tank because they don't know what's going on to save whatever they can. I mean, when you're in a rush, you don't think things through. You're just trying to save what you can, and sometimes you do more harm than good because you're not slowing down. You're right. You're not slowing down. You're not thinking clearly, you know?
Wendy's getting some comments.
Mark said, what up to Wendy?
Yeah.
I mean, that 250 system we built in Westchester, the guy was trying to get his whole room built.
Yeah.
The guy was trying to get a system. Yeah.
Okay, for you guys that don't know that are in the chat, that was just Jay from CJ and Wendy from Fritz there. we tortured them with a little cameo.
Yeah, we tortured them because I'm running out of food.
At least they didn't have their mouths full.
Right?
Awkward.
I was hungry, okay? I was hungry. There's food. What am I supposed to do? Not eat it?
Right?
I love it.
Cheers.
Wow. Yeah, no. I'm waiting on Mark to throw up some good questions here. Mark said he had a whole list of them. I want to see one of these.
Keep the circulation going. Yeah, I'm reading his questions now.
Oh, guess I got to adjust the screen so I can see the chat here real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Mark, you were going crazy. I love it.
I'm reading through all his questions now. Keep lid on circulation, keep the pump going. Yeah, that's a good point. Keep the pumps going, keep the water moving. Most of that can be avoided.
What's everybody's target DPH on your tanks?
I never test the DKH. If I do that, probably, I don't know. It's like on a fluke that I test that.
I think I'm obsessed with DPH. I got the Alcatraz.
I tested it. I don't even remember what it was. I wrote it down somewhere.
I used to hit it around like around an 8, 7.5.
I can't answer that.
So I got to be able to keep up with the throw.
Well, the problem with you, Farm Boy over there, Ryan Nash, is that you have the fancy equipment where you don't need to continuously test. You have all the equipment that tells you. You just have to make sure the equipment's kept up.
Yes,
like with people like me, I might check it every 2 months unless I see there's something in the tank that is off. You know, like
I may have those fancy equipment, but I still regularly test just to make sure those machines are running correctly. I'm not going to put faith in all of them because.
Well, good. Not everybody does though. People that have like things like an Apex, not everybody checks.
Yeah,
we talked about this last week. You know, we were talking about the pH probe. People will rely on that, and the probe will be off because they don't check the probe, and the probe's bad, and then that causes other issues.
Well, I totally agree.
I'm glad that you test. Yeah, I'm glad that you test though.
I use the HANA testers, and I use the sulfur testers. I do it weekly. I always I'm obsessed with DKH for some reason. I test. I got the the ultrasonic. It does it all, and usually the sulfur test kit it matches up perfect with the ultrasonic. So I'm pretty much a believer in that. And the Trident, I don't know yet. I'm still up about that one.
Someday, when I'm a big kid, I'm gonna have a Trident, and I'm gonna have an Apex, and I'm gonna have an Alcatronic, and I'm gonna have all that fancy stuff. Someday.
See, I love all those things, but my ultimate goal is I'm a fisherman and I'm an aquarist. And I am like, if I don't wrap my head around the simplicity, all of the equipment just overcomplicate. In my head, it's like, it makes me more nervous I'm going to screw up.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't
like
have
she
any of
said,
that.
the probes.
I hear you.
14 years
but
later,
I do
I
test.
still don't have one. I do my own auto top off. I walk by and I pour in water. I pour water myself. Still, 14 years later. And it's not because it's expensive. It's because I don't want to depend and become reliable on other things and become a lazy reefer and then have things go wrong and then I scramble to fix it and then kill everything. Right?
Well, when we had Hurricane Sandy,
so you want
you have no power. None of that stuff's working. Then what?
Exactly.
Lots of water changes.
Yeah, we can make it DIY.
But no, lots of water changes is not the answer though because
I got battery powered pumps, my friend. I got battery powered pumps. I got 8 of them.
You should totally being smart aleck. I mean, don't you have a generator though? Come on, that's all you need.
I have the generator after the catastrophe. I bought the generator.
Okay.
But still, you got to think about that. Okay, now you're storing the salt. Do you buy a bunch? Like, okay, if you're in an area where Fritz is hard to find or whatever the brand you use is hard to find, now you have to get X amount of salt to get you through. If you do 3 changes a month, 4 changes a month, because you don't know if that's going to be in demand or available when you order it again.
Yeah,
you know, my favorite answer to give on that is get whatever salt that you can afford that's readily available to you where you're located.
That's it.
I don't care if it's instant ocean. I don't
and
care
make
if it's
it work.
Red, or I don't care if it's Red Sea. Make it work because whatever salt you go with, you can always supplement or do whatever the case may be. Oh, he forgot something. But seriously, get whatever salt is readily available to you that you can afford. That's within your means. You don't want to be able to get you don't want to go from Fritz for the the Pro for a year
better.
and all of a sudden you go to instant ocean.
Dilly.
Oh, cheers. Cheers.
He says, I'm drinking the last one. I said, oh, no, you're not.
But seriously, that's my answer to everybody. Get whatever salt you can afford that is easily and readily available to you where you're located. Not where you can go online and get it, where you can go to your LFS and get it.
Yep.
Period.
And read the label. Read the label.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings another point, though. Shop local. You may need that local fish store one day, and if you don't, you're going to lose it.
That's right.
Because here's the thing. If you go out and buy everything on, nothing against Book Resupply, Marine Depot, or Coral View, I'm just saying, if your local fish store has that product, don't spend the extra $2 to get it from them. Why not? You're going to support that local LFS that in the end, when your tank crashes, or you're going through an emergency divorce, or you're out of electricity, or whatever the case may be, they're going to be the ones that you go to get help, is your local store.
Yeah,
so
when you have a regular customer. Yeah, sure.
Like,
when you have a regular customer, you tend to supply stuff for them.
Yeah, like my LFS today, I went in there last week and I said, hey, I need some phosphorus ultra low testing stuff. I know I can get it online for $10. That's not the problem. I want you to get it for me. I'll pay the extra $3 because that's going to support you. And I want an excuse to come back in and check out your corals. And I want to support my local fish store for $3. I don't mind. You know why? Because they're going out of their way to get whatever I need. While I'm there, I'm probably going to window shop and get something else. And if I'm not, I'm going to recommend somebody else to come to their store to get whatever they want.
Yeah, but you know, that extra $3-4, that's investment in your success. You know, I understand shopping online if you're going to save $200-300 or something. But other than that, I mean, try to shop local. Like that's a big thing.
And people forget, if your LFS doesn't have whatever you're looking for, ask. Chances are they can get it for you, and they'll save on shipping, right?
Except for rods. None of my local fish stores carry rods, and it's very irritating.
Yeah. Well,
Mine started because we went to the show. Actually, the last time we went to Magna, and he had a problem with the distributor, and I actually ran into the guy at the show and says, hey, give me your card. And I gave it to my local guy, and it drummed up business for them, it drummed up business for the local guy, and it was a win-win because I had the same problem. I couldn't get it anywhere here. I had to order it, and I'm always worried about ordering that stuff, you know. But yeah, once again, like she says, it was a handshake because now I didn't have to pay shipping. My local guy made business. The distributor made business. You know, it was a win-win all the way around.
And you instill that relationship with that source, you know. I know I can, you know, you can always also reach out to the actual company themselves and say, hey, I'm having a problem finding this salt on my LFS. Can you get it to them? Or is there another LFS close by that I can get it to me? I don't have a problem with Amazon. But realistically, I would rather spend that extra $1 or $2 at my LFS, build that relationship with them. So if there's ever a need for something that I really need to get, like, you know, like my electricity goes out and I need somebody to coral sit for me, by all means, they're going to be more than willing to. I may not have spent a whole lot of money. It may have been $10 here and there on stuff that I need, but I have that relationship and that trust and that bond with them, knowing that I'm going to come back and be a repeat customer. I'm not going to just use them for housing my corals and then not ever come back, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the heck with shipping. I'd rather spend my money on coral.
Right? Hey, so guys, I feel like this is going to be a very, very in-depth conversation on this one. Being as we all use different stuff, I'm kind of curious what our own personal numbers are. So I'm thinking that, you know, we're into this 42 minutes right now, that we should kind of postpone this to a second one, but kind of challenge everybody here. You know, see what those parameters are so we can actually talk about what, like, the major ones are that we're running in our own tanks. Just that way we can relate that to everybody, as well as kind of check it against the different kind of salt there. And, you know, carry this on to next week. It's just got food waiting right now and everything.
Homework.
So, yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just take a screenshot of the ICP test that's on the ILOS one versus what I got on the results on it. Now, keep in mind, every batch of salt is different. So every time you test, it's going to be different.
But, I mean, as long as they're within, you know, give or take like a 2 or 3% variance,
you can see if they're accurate. Yeah, I'll definitely post my numbers up for ILOS and Red Sea on the conversation in the comments. Well, it was nice hanging out with everybody. D, it's always great to see you.
Enjoy the steak.
Thanks, everybody.
I didn't get steak. I got fish, but it's all good.
Okay, that's all right.
Right?
So we'll see y'all
Cindy,
later.
though. You're not doing your little catchphrase at the end. You know, you got to be like, remember, always drip it and dip it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's true. I did say always drip and dip. I say that to locals. Always drip and dip it.
Yep.
When they get corals, always drip and dip it.
See, it's an ending catchphrase. It's all good. All right, guys. But for the rest of you that are watching, I promise you, next week will be a whole lot better. But thanks
Bye,
for
guys.
hanging out.
Homework. See you, everybody.
All right, bye, guys.
I don't know if it's dead or not. I can't see the screen.